ZENLESS Zone Zero is probably the game I spent the most time playing last year, and for a good reason. The combat is fast-paced, fun and smooth, and the story is surprisingly engaging and interesting for such a gooner bait waifu gacha.
Got him.
What initially lured me into this time sink of a game was the character of Lycaon. I heard there's like a cool butler man who uses only kicks. Of course I had to check it out.
You mean the furry?
Ignore the fact that it's a furry, please. So far we have 3 characters that use mainly hand-to-hand combat and 1 that uses strikes in addition to firearms. All of them are interesting and compelling characters in different ways.
Like big boobs.
Hell yeah. So today we'll be looking at the moves of 4 characters and find out what real-life style they would possibly practice. So this is Lycaon, Lider, Anton and Zhu Yuan in hand-to-hand combat of ZENLESS Zone Zero.
Ta-da!
We'll be starting with my first S rank, the head of Victoria housekeeping, Von Lycaon.
The furry.
Yeah.
No, he's very cool. He's like a wolf and
Yeah,
stuff.
yes, fancy.
Yeah,
There's many sweet view. Lycaon's basic combo is a crescent kick, roundhouse to double side kick followed by a flying side kick, mid-air roundhouse and landing with a sort of a stomping side kick, I guess, ending the combo with a rising front kick to a backflip and another stomping side kick.
Very fancy.
There's a variation to his combo if you hold down on every strike where he gets ice damage on his moves. He also gets a couple extra spins on his backflipping kick. From a dodge and quick assist, Lycaon can do a lightning fast sliding sidekick. Professional opinion, very fast. For his chain attack and ultimate, Lycaon launches the enemy into the air with a jump spinning quadruple kick followed by the same landing strike as in the previous combos. His defensive assist begins with a foot parry and goes into round kick followed by a stomp of exploding ice crystals. Lycaon's special attack is a low sweeping kick to a jumping, almost vertical roundhouse, followed by a spinning back kick and a jumping roundhouse. If held down, the spinning back kick is instead followed by a diagonally rising roundhouse, spinning hook kick, another diagonal and a rising front kick.
There are so many kicks, I can't keep up, man.
That's the point. It's like overwhelming. Kiki. Watching all this, it's fairly easy to conclude that Lycaon's style would be something heavily kick-based like Taekwondo, Capoeira or even Taido. Let's see which of these is the closest. Most of Lycaon's strikes start from standing up. Both Taido and Capoeira involve a lot of unique hand-supported movement, so excluding one strike, these 2 are off the table for Lycaon. Also, the lack of any kind of guard is pretty usual for Olympic-style Taekwondo fighters, but Lycaon might not be a pure Taekwondo fighter, at least not modern Olympic style, for a couple of reasons. There's a lot of flying kicks that would be a bit too high risk for Taekwondo bouts. This sweeping kick where he leans his hand on the ground. This can be seen as a lift-off in some Taekwondo tricking styles, but in basic competition-style Taekwondo, touching the ground with anything other than the bottom of your feet is prohibited. Lycaon parries with his foot, and in the middle of his combo he goes from a back kick to this one-footed stance, which does kinda look like the chambering of many Taekwondo kicks, but in those the hip is usually a bit more open. To me this looks more like a Muay Thai or kickboxing chin? Not chin. Don't check with your chin.
Bad idea.
Bad idea. To me this looks more like a Muay Thai or kickboxing shin check. Shin checks or leg parries aren't really seen in Taekwondo styles, or at least not any style I've trained. And these round kicks with the full follow through with the hip are a lot closer to Muay Thai than Taekwondo's more linear competition style round kicks. So, considering the high-flying acrobatic style, low kicks and everything else there, I think Lycaon's style is a mix of a bit more old-school Taekwondo from around the 80s when there was a bit more emphasis on power in addition to speed. Maybe with some Taekwondo style tricking experience and some form of kickboxing sprinkled in there. Either way, it's smooth, devastatingly effective, and makes Lycaon one cool canine. Next up is my personal favorite, the champion of the Sons of Caledon, Lider.
He's your boyfriend.
He's my boyfriend.
You have a little crush on him.
No.
Yeah, you
No.
know.
No. Lider's basic combo starts with a jab, uppercut, jumping hook kick. Landing to a side change, he continues with a 1-2, rising to downward elbow, doubled up on the other side, low sweep kick to a stumping low kick, spin to 4 alternating hooks, and ends with an uppercut and a cross. With Lider's morale boost mechanic, this combo changes significantly. From the 1-2, Lider goes for a rear jumping knee, rolling dodge, rear uppercut, jab, body hook, cross to flaming, you know.
Very manly.
Also, with a running start, Lider goes instead for a jumping hook to a roundhouse, landing with the kicking foot. From a dodge, defensive assist and quick assist, Lider goes for a lunging right straight. For his chain attack, Lider launches the opponent with a rising front kick and comes down to punch the ground. You know, like...
Very manly.
As Lider's special attack, he takes a page out of Ryu and Ken's book and goes for a Shoryuken! And finally for his ultimate, Lider just punches the ground really hard.
Wow, shocker.
Who would have thought?
Very manly though. Once again.
Very manly.
Very manly.
Now it's pretty clear to me at least that Lider is a full-blown kickboxer. He's got the basics of striking down super well. Footwork is solid, he also has a couple neat tricks up his sleeve we should take a gander at. First off, this leg sweep to a stomping low kick is pretty textbook savate. If you don't know what savate or boxe français is, it's basically French kickboxing. A lot of really sharp kicks in that one, and the straight kick to the lower thigh or knee is one of the more famous kicks in savate.
They also have shoes on.
Yep, that's true. Excellent point.
Yes. One of the main differences in like normal kickboxing.
Thanks for the input.
I'm very smart.
I know you are. From the same combo, these elbow strikes are pretty interesting. Hearing elbow, you could naturally think of Muay Thai, but to be honest, these kinds of downward elbows aren't really seen all that much in Muay Thai bouts. They're usually more of the jumping kind, since you can't really hit anything from standing with a downwards elbow like this. To me, they look more like the style used in Kyokushin for tameshiwari or breaking demonstrations.
Cool.
Lider has amazing lower body explosiveness. Explosiveness, you know?
He has diarrhea.
No! For example, his rising front kick on the chain attack, his special attack jumping uppercut, and the dashing cross from his dodge and defensive assist all have crazy height and length. Since the power of any kind of striking always comes from the ground up, it's no wonder Lider can send ethereals twice his size flying with one punch. Also, the amount of side changes in Lider's combos is really unorthodox for a kickboxer. In combat sports, fighters like these are called switch hitters. Usually, people tend to stay on their dominant side, since learning all the tricks from both sides, of course, takes twice as long. This makes Lider seem like a naturally talented fighter who can adapt to constantly shifting situations with relative ease and can dish out punishment no matter what kind of stance or angle his opponents force him into.
Damn, do I wanna be him?
All things considered, Lider is an excellent depiction of kickboxing with a couple neat references to other fighting media. With his solid basics, switch hitting and tricks like the savate coup de pied bas to chassé latéral combo, for most opponents, Lider might be a bit too hot to handle.
Yeah, like to you. You got the hots for him?
Next, we have the one I'm personally the most disappointed in. manager of Belobog Heavy Industries, Anton Ivanov. Anton's basic combo starts promisingly with a front kick, right hook to a spinning right hook again and a headbutt. After that comes a left straight with a drill and a dashing roundhouse. His special attack completely changes this basic combo into just drilling the opponent with a literal electrical drill. You know, electrical drill? Bzz. Granted, these strikes still look like uppercuts and straights, but he just kinda stands there drilling after connecting with the punch.
He's just standing there, drilling.
Anton's dodge and defensive assist are the same right hook to spinning right hook dealio from the basic combo, and just going around.
He's kind of boring compared to the first two.
I know.
He just stands there and drills, man.
From a parry, Anton turns into a drill and goes flying towards the enemy.
To be able to use the drill, you must first become the drill.
His ultimate and chain attack are both just punching the ground with the drill, sending shockwaves towards the enemy.
It's like lighter, but not as cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I loved Anton's character design and, whole vibe. This rugged construction worker who calls his drill bro. He's also probably the first Hoyoverse playable male character that isn't a scrawny little weenie. Anton's design feels like a mix between Chiharu Shiba from the Baki series and Kamina from Gurren Lagann. Protecting your people and pride with ferocious, unwavering spirit and natural talent for fighting without any martial arts training. He also has the Bosozoku aesthetic down to a T. Bosozoku is the Japanese youth subculture of highly customized motorbikes and extravagant tokkofuku outfits that resemble old kamikaze pilots or manual laborer uniforms, but embroidered and stylized with patches and slogans. With flame decal, gold chain and barely anyone using a hard hat, Belobog Industries looks a lot more like a gang than a construction company. Anyway, there's not much more to talk about in terms of Anton's fighting style. He hits hard with whatever body part happens to be available, and that's pretty much it. Such a shame playing as Anton feels so boring. Boring is like drilling. Yeah. Last one is the leader of Public Security's Criminal Investigation Team, Zhu Yuan. Or Zhu Yuan. Zhu Yuan. Similar to Anton, there won't be all that much to go over with her, since most of her attacks are weapon-based, but her basic attack combo does incorporate some striking in there, so let's take a gander at what we can find. Zhu Yuan's basic combo begins with a roundhouse to spinning back kick, followed by some spinny shooty stuff, and after that a dash to a rising knee strike, backstep to left uppercut, left reverse elbow, right elbow, roundhouse to jump spinning back kick that somehow turns into a backflip with 2 twists and more shooty stuff. Zhu Yuan ends the combo with a dash into an uppercut and more shooting. Everything else Zhu Yuan has is just more gun stuff, and I'm not much of a gun guy myself, so I can't vouch for any of her gunplay's validity, other than that I've never seen anyone throw a double twisting backflip and shoot at the same time. So what is her striking based on? It's kinda hard to say since her moves are so fast there's almost nothing other than just the keyframes of a strike, but the knee strikes, elbows and the overall swiftness really seems like a police version of Sanda, the full contact kickboxing of China. I've never done Sanda myself, but from what I've seen, the striking is extremely fast paced even for kickboxing. Sanda striking has a lot of similarities with combat sambo in that the aim of strikes is to get into a position for a takedown. This would make sense for a style used by police too, since it's always better to take your opponent down without knocking them out so you can arrest them as safely as possible. In Zhu Yuan's case, she uses strikes to set up gunning the opponent down instead of taking them down, which is kinda brutal. But to be fair, her opponents are mostly ethereals anyway. The elbows make sense, since she has her hands occupied with a weapon already. The high kicks are an interesting choice, but they do practice high side kicks and round kicks in Sanda, so at least it's authentic. Zhu Yuan's strikes are so lightning fast and her kicks so devastating, even if you trained for 20 years you might be too young to fight Zhu Yuan. I don't know, I tried to come up with a pun for all of them.
I noticed.
In summary, the unarmed combat of ZENLESS Zone Zero is top-notch. Every single piece of animation I've seen from ZENLESS Zone Zero is of extremely high quality, and the attention to details is pretty amazing. I'm not surprised even a small detail like the pushing up with the hips into an uppercut or the little bounce after the chassé latéral made its way into the game with such a dedicated and talented team of artists and animators. Most of the stuff in ZENLESS Zone Zero is of course fantasy, and even the hand-to-hand combat isn't rooted entirely in reality, but there's enough actual fighting techniques to make the styles feel authentic and believable even in such an otherwise outlandish world. That's all I have for ZZZ. For now, I'll be back if they release more unarmed characters at some point. Check out my other videos for more martial arts and video game related content. I also stream on Twitch with the name Mixed Martial Ari, and now I even have a VOD channel here on YouTube. Links in the description below. I'll see you folks around again next time.
Bye.